This is Anycubic's newest resin 3D printer, the Photon P1. A sleek new machine promising industrial-level results with consumer-friendly usability. Let's run down the basic specs before we dive deeper. First up, the price. The Photon P1 is coming in at $799 US, with early bird Kickstarter pricing at $499. Build volume is 223mm on the X, 126mm on the Y, and 230mm on the Z axis. All of that is enclosed by a UV cover that swivels out of the way with just one hand. Inside we'll find a 14K LCD with a resolution of 13,312 by 5,120 pixels, giving a pixel size of 16.8 microns on the X and 24.8 microns on the Y, which is pretty standard for today's resin machines. Behind the screen is a COB or chip-on-board light source emitting 405nm wavelength light to cure layers quickly and uniformly. The Z-axis uses a ball screw paired with dual linear rails for improved precision and repeatability. Up front is a 4.5-inch touchscreen with a sleek, user-friendly UI. There's a USB port here for local printing from a thumb drive, as well as built-in Wi-Fi for local network and cloud printing. Around the back, there's a standard ATX power input, so no bulky external power bricks here. And there's a port for exhausting fumes. Anycubic is selling their own inline fan exhaust system, but I just 3D printed an adapter to hook up to my existing fume extractor. So far, pretty standard stuff. Now, before we get into the more unique features, we should talk about some of the controversy surrounding this machine. These are pre-production units, so things can and will change. One example is the resin vat fill line. This was placed too high on early units and caused some users to spill resin out of the pour spout here. Other users reported resin curing on top of the build plate due to the inadequate UV blocking from the pre-production cover. Anycubic has already addressed this and sent me the updated cover, and you can see just how much darker the new one is. There's also a noticeable gap around the UV cover here. I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing since it allows fresh air to enter while using a fume extractor. There's also several build plate add-ons available separately, including a dual vat system for printing two different resins, and a perforated build plate to reduce the first layer suction, which is especially helpful for more viscous resins. Just keep in mind these are optional extras, and for my testing, I'll use only the standard stainless steel plate that comes with the base machine. Now, onto the more interesting features. The resin vat uses two quick-locking levers for easy removal, which is a welcome change from the thumb screws found on previous printers. The vat itself is heated by an element running around the perimeter, connected through these pogo pins at the back. The screen floats on springs with built-in load sensors used for assisted leveling, giving you active feedback during bed leveling adjustments. The screen also has a textured, bubbly surface, and this allows the NFEP film to move freely without suctioning to the screen. Anycubic claims this reduces peel force by up to 60%. Speaking of peel force, it's monitored using a large strain gauge here. Not only does it measure peel force, but it detects foreign objects in the vat and can even identify empty layers caused by failed prints. It can also be used to actively monitor how long it takes the resin to flow back under the peeled layer and adjust your light off time accordingly to speed up prints. There's also a small camera behind the resin vat with amber LEDs. It helps detect failed prints with the help of AI, and while the 480p resolution isn't ideal for cinematic time lapses, it's more than enough to keep an eye on your prints. You can also link the printer to Anycubic's app for remote monitoring when you're away from home. Inside the vat, there are small tabs that hold the build plate after printing, allowing excess resin to drip back into the vat. And while it's a great idea, it prevents you from closing the UV cover, so I wouldn't leave it too long in this configuration, or you could expose your resin vat to UV light. Now that we've covered the specs, let's do some printing. For testing, I'm using Anycubic's Water Washable Resin 2.0 in gray. On the software side, Anycubic provides Photon Workshop. It's pretty similar to other free resin slicers with machine presets and resin profiles built in. Let's load up a few test models and send them over Wi-Fi to the printer. First up, these simple resin tests from user GoPrint over on Printables. I was really surprised to see how well these little tests cleaned up using only water and a little agitation from a paintbrush. And here you can see that most of the super fine details printed successfully. Now that we know everything's working, we can move on to some other prints, like this demi-dragon figurine. There was enough room for 2 of these on the build plate, which is great because it takes the same time regardless of how full the plate is. And these took just over 4 hours to print. For cleaning, I'm doing an initial rinse with water to remove most of the uncured resin before loading up the Anycubic Wash and Cure 3 Max. This thing is a massive washing machine that uses external containers of water and detergent to spray down your model before draining wastewater into a bucket to be properly disposed of. Since I'm using water washable resin, I only had to fill these reservoirs up with warm tap water. I did all my printing in batches so I could load this wash and cure station up with multiple prints, just so I'm not going to generate a ton of waste liquid that needs to be cured and disposed of. Once the models were fully washed, I could take them out, dry them off, and carefully remove supports before loading them all back in to be cured by the UV curing mode. Since I did all my printing in batches, we can quickly run down all the things I printed. This demi-dragon figurine, these tabletop trolls, this very dainty Spider-Man bust which I printed without supports, a few small tabletop chainsaw sabers as well as a slightly scaled up one, and this CSGO karambit. One thing I noticed during printing is how quietly the model is released from the NFEP film. I think all the small tweaks Anycubic has done to reduce peel force have really paid off here, and their claims of 60% less peel force could actually be true. The real-time monitoring of peel force during printing is a super cool addition to the machine, and I think we'll see this integrated into a lot of other resin machines moving forward. That's all for today. Special thanks to Anycubic for letting me take a look at this machine. I'll leave a link in the description if you'd like to learn more. As always, thanks for watching and happy printing.